on Sunday, February 17th, just a few days from now, big UFC heavyweight fight. Cain Velasquez is going to fight against Francis Ngannou on UFC on ESPN, and we are thrilled because we're joined by one of those two fighters. Cain Velasquez joins us on the show. Cain, I know you've got a fight in a few days. Thanks for making time for us.
No problem. Thank you.
So it's been a while. It's been, what, 2.5 years since you last stepped into an octagon. How's the training process been? How you feeling?
Training process has been great. Even my time off, I was able to be in the gym with some of the other fighters, Daniel Cormier, all the other guys there at AKA, being able to help out some of the younger guys that that are just up and coming into the UFC, and also just guys that want to be fighters. So for me, it was a great time to kind of sit back and also coach a little bit, and also spend time with my family as well. So it was good.
Your fighting style, it's electric to watch, in part because you're a heavyweight who has to have a lot of cardio. I mean, just your approach, you got to be in great shape. What's the process been? Maybe take us behind the curtain of how you've tried to make sure when you step into that octagon, you're able to have the engine that we're accustomed to seeing you with when that fight goes.
Yeah, well, that part of the sport, I mean, I feel like I've always had, as far as the cardio part. I think some of it's just God given. Obviously, I work extremely hard at anything that I do, but for me, it's just making sure that I was 100% as far as physically, and now the time off, I feel stronger than ever. I feel like everything's working well. I'm able to train the way I want to. I'm able to do the output that I want to in training. So it's going to translate over to the fight game as well. So I'm very excited for this fight.
Maybe even to make it a little more exciting, at least for you, UFC on ESPN this Sunday is in Phoenix. You went to high school in Arizona. You wrestled at Arizona State. What does it mean to you that you'll be fighting in a state you've got all those connections to?
Yeah, I've competed here my whole life, from junior high all the way through college. Um, this is where I feel comfortable competing in front of my family and friends. Being in my home state, it's just a great opportunity again to do this. So for me, it was more of a timing aspect to come back. It's having the right fight, the right time, against the right opponent. I believe Francis Ngannou has a ton of strengths. He's very dangerous in his punching power, but he's very beatable. And I believe I can expose him a lot more in this fight. So that's why I took it.
Yeah, Ngannou, I mean, both of you guys are great fighters. And just for fans like me, it's going to be fun to watch you two go at it. How much are you, as you get ready to get back to the octagon, how much do you personally study the tape? How much are you watching Ngannou in past fights to come up with a very specific strategy?
Yeah, you have to do that. You have to watch film on your guy. You have to kind of study your opponent, see what you're getting into, obviously. In order to get a good game plan going into a fight, I mean, it's something that you have to do. You have to do your homework. So you're watching him, knowing where his strength is as far as the punching power. We watched all that, and obviously he's got a good game plan going for this fight. And just excited to go out this Sunday and execute this game plan.
So I know you can't give us all the X's and O's. You can't give the entire battle plan. But as you look at the tape, as you come up with your plan, as you see, of course, that Stipe Miocic was able to go to the ground as a way to get this done, is that something you want to do, or do you have some confidence that you can stand and you can trade blows on your feet with Ngannou?
Well, in the beginning of the fight, I mean, I'm at the stand anyways, that's where the fight starts. But in order for anything else to work, wrestling, anything else, you have to be a presence on the stand-up as well. You have to make him respect your power as well, your punches and kicks. If he doesn't, then he gets really comfortable, and the takedown won't be there. It's like Stipe did. He hit him with a couple of good clean shots. So this is MMA. We can do everything. So for me, I have to go out there and do everything. Just kind of all the tools that I have, I have to use them all for this fight in order to be victorious. So.
Cain, it feels like the whole world moves at hyperspeed now, and in your absence, a lot has changed in the heavyweight division. Has Dana White talked to you about what the next step looks like for you after this fight?
No, he hasn't talked to me, but we all just kind of know, it's fighting somebody like Francis. After that, I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, anything can happen. This sport, anything does happen in this sport, and time off that I've had, it's just crazy how much it's changed. But it's a sport that's very new, always evolving. It's always evolving very quickly. So anything can happen after this fight, but right now, just focused on the task ahead. But whatever happens after that happens.
Your good buddy and teammate, Daniel Cormier, who was on the show not long ago, really good dude. Now, he said that he may just have one more fight in him, though when he was on this program last month, I think it was, he certainly left the door open for you never know. There's been talk about him fighting Brock Lesnar. There's been talk about who could be the next fight that he goes up against. You guys are buddies. You guys are boys. Have you ever contemplated the prospect of the two of you going at each other?
We've talked about it. We talked about it numerous times, but it's always been the same conclusion. It's like that we're not going to fight. When he first got to AKA, we just hit it off as far as being great teammates. I'm always there to help him out for all his fights, and he's always there for me for all my fights. So when he goes out there and he fights and wins, I win with him as well. Because I was invested and I am invested in all his training and fights. Like when he fought Stipe, I was talking to him and telling him that I don't see him losing in this fight. There's not a place where Stipe can beat him. Him being Daniel being a smaller heavyweight, really fast, really explosive. It's something that these heavyweights aren't used to. They're not used to his quickness. So again, we won't fight.
How many more fights do you think we'll see DC competing in the UFC?
We'll see. He says he wants one more fight. He doesn't want to fight against Brock Lesnar. I know that, and I think that's a good fight. I think that's a good matchup for him, and also for just for the fans as well. I think the build-up will be good. I think the fight will be an excellent fight as well. But for me, I'm supporting my brother Daniel and whatever he does. If he wants to have more fights after that, then I'm behind him and I'll support him because I know what type of competitor he is. He's a guy that is extremely competitive, especially in this sport. So we'll see what happens after his next fight.
All right, UFC on ESPN on Sunday. Give us your prediction, Cain. How do you think this fight plays itself out?
I just picture every fight that it's going to be the hardest fight that I've ever gone through, and this is no different. Again, Francis poses a lot of threats in his punching power. I'm sure because he is still fairly new to fighting that he's improved a lot more. He's gotten some more tools in his arsenal. So I picture it being a long, hard fight with my hand being raised at the end.
We appreciate you. And by the way, congratulations. I know you were coming back from injury, your layoff, but it gave you the opportunity to be around your son a lot, which as a dad I know is really cool. So congrats on the birth of your son. Congrats on your kids, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.